Boy, oh boy, we got to get it right. And 2024 is the chance we've got to get it right. We're going to get it right with our coverage, beginning with the Iowa caucus, just a mere days away. And weather is on the docket here. I mean, we've got some stormy conditions forecast today for much of the country, including here in Tampa Bay, where everybody is battening down the hatches, ready for gale force winds and maybe flooding and torrential downpours and maybe even some tornadic activity. I heard that in South Carolina and North Carolina, I mean, the whole East Coast is facing some tough weather, but maybe not as tough as wintry, blizzardy, frigid Iowa. Now, we got a neat thing that we're going to do in 2024. Joey Hudson, who is my years-long friend, my business manager, he's the executive director of Gallagher's Heroes, the Fallen Officer Fund. Joey had a great run as the morning host in South Carolina on 94.5 The Answer and developed a great following, tons of community contacts. And then a funny thing happened. Our company made the decision to sell 94.5 The Answer. And the format was out the window, and now it's a Christian music station. And so Joey had, besides the blessing of getting to sleep beyond 4 a.m. every day, has some time on his hands to work more closely with Team Gallagher. So we promptly said, well, Joey, how about we make you our election 2024 correspondent?
Election 2024 with Team Gallagher's Joey Hudson.
How about that, Joey? You got your own open. Is that impressive or what?
Oh, my very own open? That's pretty cool. I had not heard that.
We brought the musicians in this morning. We got a 40-piece orchestra. We got Doc Morgan up early to cut the open. I mean, you got your own open. Congratulations.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And speaking of cool, you never answered my text last night when I asked if the show would buy me a new jacket. Have you looked at the temperatures that I'm going to be working? I see now why you weren't too enthused about going to Iowa yourself, and you're sending me.
This is why we wanted to send you to the frigid tundra of Iowa, 7 below zero on caucus day, right? Is that what they're predicting on Monday?
They have updated the forecast. Monday, minus 14.
Now you're a native South Carolinian. You don't experience weather like this.
We do not. Now it's pouring rain and it's windy in the Carolinas right now, but it's not that cold. Never been that cold to my knowledge in South Carolina. Wow. I don't have a jacket for minus 14.
Yeah, well, I don't think they sell jackets for. Maybe you should go over there. What's that store I like over in Clemson, where I got all those sport coats?
Yes.
What's it called? I'm drawing a blank. Right there in down.
M.H. Frank.
M.H. Frank. I'll bet they got some winter coats, but I wonder if they've got coats that thick for Iowa.
I don't. I bet they could come up with one though.
They go. I guarantee you. They guarantee it. The place ain't cheap, but they're good. Good quality clothes over there.
If I run over there today and I find one that will help me with minus 14, can I just put it on your account?
You cannot. Now, you do not expense that. Listen. Haven't you heard? We're times are tight. We're watching every dime. Hey, but we are excited to send you out into the wilderness because you're going to cover the primaries. You're going to be in Iowa. You're going to be in New Hampshire. Of course, you're going to be covering your home state of South Carolina. And perfect perspective, Joey, to have you, this lifelong South Carolinian, in the middle of all this coverage, because South Carolina's former governor and the former ambassador, Nikki Haley, is getting a lot of buzz, a lot of attention. She had a town hall last night on Fox News, and I'm reading today that deep-pocketed donors are absolutely gravitating now towards Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, you read a lot of the reports, and she's the candidate on the move. Look, you have to watch Nikki Haley, and having lived here in South Carolina my entire life, I remember when Nikki Haley was running for the South Carolina House. She ran against a longtime incumbent. Nobody thought she had a chance. She won. I remember when Representative Nikki Haley, fairly new in the legislature, decided she was going to run for governor. Nobody thought she would win. She ran, and she did. So I don't think you can ever count Nikki Haley out. It's going to be interesting. I loved last night when they asked her the question of why she reneged on her promise to President Trump that she would not run against him. Interesting response. But, yeah, I think she's the candidate to watch right now.
Incidentally, her response was essentially, well, with the withdrawal, the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan and the mistakes that the Biden administration made, she basically had to step up and change her mind. Moments ago, the new Fox News power rankings now has the two-person race, not Trump DeSantis, but Trump and Nikki Haley. The Fox News power rankings showing a huge second-place shakeup and giving the nod to Nikki Haley. You know, Joey, give us your perspective as a native South Carolinian. People in South Carolina have a very passionate view of Nikki Haley, and for many, it isn't all that favorable.
I think Nikki Haley will have a hard time winning her home state of South Carolina. This is pretty much Trump country. People want to see the former president back in office. And, she made her comment the other day that Iowa made the mistake, New Hampshire corrected it, and then she's expecting her home state of South Carolina to bring her home. I'm afraid Nikki Haley is going to be disappointed with South Carolina because I don't see second place, but I don't even know that that's a strong second place in South Carolina.
Give us your plans for kicking off the coverage in Iowa on Monday. What do you plan to do for us?
Well, we're going to get there a little early, a day or so early, and just spend some time talking with people, talking with Iowans about the process and their feelings. You know, it's kind of interesting. Iowa, the caucuses are very different, and it's even different with how Republicans do theirs and Democrats do theirs. I started looking at this last night, Mike, and, we jokingly say that Democrats like to always complicate things. If you read how they do their caucuses, let me just read the first sentence here. It talks about, now this is only Democrats. Republicans, they get in a room, they start talking with one another, they decide who they're going to vote for, and it's kind of done. Democrats, they have like a 5-part process that they go through where they first they sit down in different areas of the room, depending on the candidate they support. Then they have a first count, and then they can spend some time talking with one another to try to convince you to support a different candidate. They'll have another little sit down in another area. I mean, this goes on for hours over in the Democrat caucuses. But here's the thing. Yes, Iowa is the first in the nation. But if you look back over the history, well, let me just ask you a little pop quiz here. In 2020, who won the Iowa caucuses for both parties?
For both, we mean for both parties? Oh, each party?
So who won the Republicans in 2020?
I'm trying to Google here real quick to try to appear
I'll tell
smart.
You, that's easy. Donald Trump did in 2020.
Yeah, but who was the Democrat?
But Donald Trump did not win in 2016. Surprising. Ted Cruz won in 2016.
Ted Cruz, yeah. I thought it was Cruz in 16.
So
yeah.
in 2020 with the Democrats, Joe Biden lost. Pete Buttigieg won the Iowa caucus.
Really?
And so as I sort of had in my mind this idea that, well, you win Iowa, you're kind of on your way. That's happened a few times. Jimmy Carter, for example, in 76 won Iowa, went on to win. But actually, only 55% of Democrats who win Iowa have gone on to win the overall nomination.
How
it's
interesting.
For Republicans, 43% of Republicans who have won Iowa went on to win the nomination.
Well, you're right. It does feel like there's a sense of foreboding that Iowa is going to determine the whole 9 yards, even with reporting that Ron DeSantis is allegedly considering dropping out if Trump takes Iowa by the margin. That's impossible. There's no way that conversation ever existed. I don't believe that, but that was according to somebody, I think, over at the Hill who had two sources. 30 seconds we have left, Joey. Let's talk. We're talking to Joey Hudson, who's off on our coverage, our election coverage 2024 for Team Gallagher. Gallagher. We're joking about the weather, but, do you think weather could be a factor, especially for maybe Iowa's seniors? Or, hey, to Iowans, it's just, hey, it's winter, it's January in Iowa, and they're going to go out about their lives and they're going to caucus?
Well, they're more comfortable with these with the temperatures and the snow, but it just depends. If there is a heavy snowstorm, yes, that could keep people home, and that could have an effect on the overall outcome.
There he is, Joey Hudson, our man at the primaries and the caucuses. Bundle up, my friend.
I'm headed to MH Frank right now to pick out that jacket you approved.
Get your parka. Get your parka now.
2024 with Team Gallagher's Joey Hudson.
Can't wait to get Joey's reporting, and we'll check in with him again later in the week and get a preview of the Iowa caucus. Keep it right here on the Mike Gallagher Show in the Relief Factor studios.